presentation, which I won't call it presentation per se, but it's really an inspiration that I had in response to the very exciting times where I can see the opportunity of humanity to accelerate their awareness and perception. And I just want to give you a little bit of overview of what we'll be touching on it on the next 3 years, actually, because it's something that can be so profoundly interesting, and all the mysteries that have been hidden in a long time on Earth and in human consciousness, it's going to rise, it's going to be seen, it's going to be interacting with in different ways. And now we are kind of in the middle of the tension, you know. It's like when we're giving birth and the contractions, the pain is there. We see the limitations very much at place, and we feel the pain, and we feel the uncertainty of what is next. But it's in that precise moment where we don't realize we're giving birth, and we're giving birth to just simply a different perception, and that perception will make our relationships differently, because the way you perceive the tree is the way you're going to relate to the tree. If you see it as an object of utility, you will treat it as such. But if you see it as part of you, then your relation completely will change. So I just want to give you what are the components, what is going to make that shift within us, and what is the understanding that we're moving from where to where we're moving, and to see that how we can engage our actions and our choices towards the natural movement of humanity who is just ready to see themselves differently. So this is an inspiration, really, of my work that have come from experience. It have come not only experiences in this life, but as part of memories, as part of different integration and experiences that have complete something within me. And in that perception, then I have a globality that can see perhaps points of view that you want to complete, or you need to complete, or perhaps you won't agree or be ready for it. It doesn't matter. It's just an offering to be more ourselves from different angle. And with the programs that we're opening for the next 3 years or so, will be all about this exploration. And in 2022, I want to focus in the basics. I want to focus in the 3D dimension, in all the trinities that we are formed of, and how you can understand these trinities for balance. Because through the years, my work has been about the polarities, how to get out of duality, how to get out of subdivision, how to command your life and not let the ego do it. All the pull and the push, just to stabilize that. But here is the moment where we can actually go to a point zero, to a point of in the middle. So this is very exciting for me, because it really can be a resume of many, many efforts, ceremonies, and teachings that have been in the past. So I want to explain to you a little bit about where we're coming from and where we should not lose sight. And the first thing is about the one. Actually, I'm going to talk about the 1, the 2, and the 3. Just an overview. It's so much to talk there that I'm trying to just give you just a little bit so you understand the work. So the one, the only one, the perfect being, beyond time and space, the one that is everything and is nothing, the one that contains everything and is empty. Is the vacuum, right? In quantum is the black hole, is the 0 point, is the moment of absolute stillness, is the one that is embedded in everything. All seekers are pointing towards that, where are shedding the experiences, are shedding the misunderstanding, the concept, the values, and start opening a space, purifying in the body and in the mind all these misconceptions, and arrive to that point. I am the one and only one, and I am in everything, in that person, in that tree, in that planet, in that feeling, in that thought. I am in there, undivided, always existing. This is very powerful when you don't conceptualize it, but you actually decide to live that way, and you put practices and intentions and experiences that are sustaining that one. And that is simply the job of the seeker, is to always point towards the one. The number two, we also have talk about it, and I want to refer it this time with quantum terms, where it's just simply two different charges. It's when the one decides to stretch itself to two different values. I'll make a graphic so it may be easier for you. So the number one, we can see it as one dot, the vacuum. I am nothing, I am everything. And in that space of stillness, the side of one to know itself. It wants to know itself. So for that, it's separated in two values. One value that is positive and one value that is negative. It's not that it's good or bad, which is part of our pollution, right? That, oh, positive is good and negative is bad. It's about just two different values. It's time and space. It's male, female. It's hot and cold. It's the extremities, the complementary aspects of nature that is always there, right? It's in our body. It's in the sympathetic and parasympathetic system. It is in the nadis, it's in the Ida and Pingala, it's in the Surya and the Chandra, it's in the sun and moon, it's in the male, female, it's in the rest and it's in the activity, is there. And from there, if it's only that, it's flat. It is not moving quite yet. It doesn't have any dimension. It has height, it has depth, depth, but it has not. It doesn't have the width of expression. So, how this come to be into three is when this one separate, okay, another positive, another negative, another positive, another negative, another positive, another negative, another positive, negative, another positive, in different lengths too, and in different values. Right? Like a dandelion. Many rays. particular exactly 12, if we have encountered the 12 rays before, is kind of the same principle. The lower part is the part that doesn't see, is the feminine, is the part that is the subconscious, is the very depths of things, is where things is gonna born out of that. It's when the struggle is where destruction, life and restoration is the active, is the prana, is the life force. And the upper part is the male, is the static, is the heights, is the overview, is the mind, is the wisdom, is the love, is the desire to grow taller. We can have that. Is the time, while the negative is more in the space. And this can be applied from the micro to the macro. The planets and the universes and the cells, they all have protons and neutrons, and they have that dynamic that cannot be broken. Otherwise, all the matrix of experience or the matrix of form, it just will crumble. And now, when these two, the negative, will wish to see itself, to have a reflection, to have a feedback, and I often speak about the law of feedback because it's so important. The male by itself, I cannot see myself. And same thing with the female. It cannot see in another person itself. So you have the interior, you have the exterior, but they need to communicate. And that's where the way to see is by creating a point of view that match. Okay, I will match another positive or negative, and I will create a point of view. So this negative can be reflected in here. So you will see reality from this point of view. Right? Same thing here. The positive would like to see itself, so it extends to another point, either positive or negative, and create a different point of view. Right? You start to see the Star of David here, right? But this is only one plane. We need to understand that this is happening, this form a sphere, a circle, and all these points have triangles in themselves in different ways, very organized, and that's what is the matrix of existence. Right? Now you are a traveler in that matrix. You are a soul, a part of the one that wish to have the journey to see itself in different points in this geometry. So when you are seeing yourself from this part, you'll say, oh, this is true. I am closer. I can see that. And so on and so forth. Right? But it's in that line that you need to move. You cannot jump here and there until this triangle is complete. So you're seeing the soul journey in this part. There are places of conjunction, and you cannot skip. There will be different points of view, different influences, different exploration. And that is right. That is the adventure of life. That is what we cannot deny, and that's what we cannot reject, avoid, or make it our way. It is the way it is in the matrix of life. When you have completed most of, at least some of those infinite triangles, you start moving to a sphere, because the sphere is made of infinite triangles. It's just proved now that when you see a sphere, even if it's plain, it's just made of mini triangles all over the place. So, and that sphere, right, that sphere is what you call you, your experiences, your distillation, your integrations of all the matrix there. Now, of course, the matrix is infinite and it has many facets, and you can get lost on it. That's why it's a geometry of order that you can follow, called dimensions, to see and remember the one. Because after all this may seem abstract, but the one is in every single point that you are living. So, the sphere. There's one book that I wrote actually 2 or 3 years ago where I want to mention it to you. Hopefully I don't get all black. It's the sphere of affection. The sphere of affection is guidelines to become and to remember and to see the different aspects of your journey in this matrix. So we'll have practices and meditations, and in the first semester of 2022 that relate to the body, because this may sound like, oh my God, it's a big universe in there and it's hard to relate to it, but actually that universe is in your body. So when we understand our anatomy and physiology, and when we rescue ancient teachings from the Vedics, I am choosing the Vedas to support us in this, we are able to start uniting these two polarities, the two aspects, into one point, into forming solid triangles within the body. So it's exciting times for me, because it is a way of resuming my work, and also from the point of view that I have right now, can embrace this movement. I guess that's why I'm here in these times, and to offer is to really just an offering for you to partner up in the rising of consciousness. Everything promise, nature promise that even in the more difficult times we will be victorious, because we are reflecting into who we are and our choices and what is it that we're preferring. Everything is in front of us right now to expand and to change. And our body is so adaptable, is so ready to do that. So all we need is give it a little help. Like when we are cutting our hands, and we just know that it's going to heal itself, but if we disinfect it and care and put the minimum effort on it, it will heal successful and faster. So I thank you again for accompanying me in this journey, because without you, I don't have the feedback. I won't not know what aspect should be delivered. It will all keep it inside, and if it's not out, it's not serving anybody, including myself. So thank you again, namaste, and hope you share this knowledge, these teachings, in any capacity you can. We have training programs now, so you can tap into it, and if not, just know that if you change, everything change. You are the micro cell of the universe, and that's where the power is. In the same way, our guts have the bacteria, and that's what the power is of health and balance. Thank you again.